Hi, good afternoon all. This is now my second time doing this video, hence the reason that I've decided to do a video instead of a live tonight at 8 o'clock, because for some reason it always seems to mess up on me. Right, the first subject I would really like to hit on is common law courts. I'm extremely concerned about parents and what's going on. I don't know if anyone else can update me on this situation, but it would appear that people are being told that they will be having their children returned via the common law courts rulings. Is there any evidence yet to back up the fact that this is actually going to be happening? Because unless you're going to an actual court in the UK, an actual HM court, I don't believe that the outcomes, the judgments, decisions from the common law court can be enforced. Actually, if there's anyone that knows of a different situation where it has been enforced and the children have been returned, please feel free to let me know. But until such a time that I have pure evidence that this is actually the case, then I'm sorry, I have to remain dubious and warn parents, because potentially this could leave parents completely scarred yet again, and going through care proceedings is difficult enough as it is, let alone going through this again. I mean, from what I can gather, people have indicated quite quickly and told their children will be returned and stuff. I mean, how are they suggesting that they're going to enforce this? How are they suggesting they're going to return the children? And I'm sorry, but it would be a criminal offence for these people to remove the children from where they are and bring them home at this point, because there is no law in place saying the common law court can actually do that, is there? Am I behind with the times? Do I not know something? Because it just appears to me that it's giving people a lot of false hopes here. I mean, from what I've heard as well, most parents are being vindicated, social services are being found guilty. But on what basis? What evidence? And what is actually happening here? I mean, please just be extra careful. It all sounds fabulous. It really does. But is it really? Is it really fabulous? And do you really want to put yourself through that for absolutely nothing, to be let down at the end? So like I say, I'm not going to say too much or scrutinise this situation too much at this point. But please be aware that I do believe that if people go to enforce the children being removed, it won't be happening. And if it does happen, the people doing it are going to be arrested, because you can't just take children from their foster carers, adopters or whatever on the basis that the common law court says so. I don't think so anyway. So yeah, please update me on this, because it seems extremely strange to me, and naive in a way as well, So has anyone had any real outcome from this? You may have been found not guilty, or you may have been found that the social services were guilty and that your child's being returned, but have they been returned? How is this meant to be carried out? I just would like some explanation as to how this is even happening. It just seems completely crazy to me, and I wouldn't like to see parents actually go through the heartbreak yet again of going through proceedings to then be told that yes, your child's coming home, then to be told, well, actually no, they're not, because these proceedings weren't actually, legally allowed. There is one young lady this week. I know a lot of people lose their children to forced adoption, but there's one lady in particular. I think she knows who she is. She's fought just like me. I've watched her fight, and she even got leave to oppose an adoption, and she didn't get. It didn't. Oh my goodness me! Sorry, I'm not on top form today, which is why I've done a video as well. She didn't get the outcome her way, basically, at the end of it. I just want to say to her that at the moment you're going to be deeply traumatized, and you need resting time. You need time to bring yourself together, but don't take too much time, because we need to get an appeal in, honey, right? But take the time to build yourself back up again. You need time to heal, right? Okay, because what you've been through is the most traumatic, however many months, years of your life. It is something that literally rips the insides out of you, and I know this for a fact. Okay, so I'm offering this lady as much support and help as she needs. I'm not saying I'm barrister or solicitor of the year, because I'm clearly not. I am and can act as a Mackenzie friend, and that's what I'm offering. And at this stage, when you go into adoption proceedings, as far as I'm aware, and it certainly was the case for me, I had no legal aid, because you don't get it at that stage, unless of course you get leave to oppose the adoption, which potentially she did have legal help at that case. I'm not 100% sure. Like I say, I'm letting her have some healing time before I try to sort of, really stick my oar in there. And so I'm just there to help people, give advice, give a friendly, have an ear to listen to people if they just want to sort of spout off about the local authority, or cry, or ask me for some advice, because I have been through nearly the majority of the stages of the processes, especially leading up to adoption, forced adoption. The forced adoption of my child has not been put to the back burner by me whatsoever. I'm currently speaking with a criminal solicitor, and we're trying to get together a case, because the local authority Essex illegally adopted my child, and this was due to the fact there was actually live cases, a live appeal in the Royal Court of Justice. They still sealed the deal of adoption to the people that she's with, and there's many other situations involved in my case that have been completely unlawful, and it's been set down that these were unlawful in the court themselves. So at the end of the day, it's a criminal thing what's happened. It's a traumatizing, soul-destroying thing what's happened. And basically, I'm looking at trying to criminally prosecute the local authority for fraud. Unfortunately, we don't have adoption fraud in the UK as a crime as of yet. So, but I mean, there's many other angles of fraudulent behaviour that I can go in on, but it's just working out the right one. And it's then if the CPS will allow this case to stand, because it could be in court and could be halfway through and they can still stop the case, which is unbelievable, but it's true. So I'm just seeing how that's panning out. It's not the entire local authority, it's certain individuals, because you can't ask to criminally prosecute the entire of Essex local authority. It's just not, it's just not a done thing. It is the certain individuals that have behaved in the manner they have during my case, basically, that I'm aiming at. So I will be starting a rolling blog post as from next Monday in regard to care proceedings, adoptions, just, sort of guiding people through what happens to start with and how it sort of usually progresses, about experts, warning signs, and just basically giving some general help and guidance with forms, and also, of course, offering my full support and help if necessary. I can come to court with people. I do go to court with people. I do statements for people, and do their case generally for them, as a Mackenzie friend. So if that's what you would like help with, then please feel free to contact me via private message, and we can discuss your case and what I can do to help you. But apart from that, I just would like to put out there, don't feel alone in this, because you're not alone. This is going on so much. I'd now just like to hit on quickly, people may be wondering why I have so much support from Tommy Robinson. Firstly, I'd like to say it's because this is a man that's spoken out and hasn't been allowed to speak out, because the government would prefer it if he didn't speak out about the truth. Now, that to me is something that I feel like I'm sort of pushing down the same route as, I know it's a different subject, but at the end of the day, this man's got a platform it's immense. It's immense. I mean, I do believe in what he says as well. I do believe that we are being withheld from the truth by the government, by the media, and I do believe that it's about time this country realised that we will one day become a Muslim state if we don't do something about this. But I'm not going to carry on about this too much, because everyone has their own beliefs and everything else and values. But please understand, the shocking crimes, the paedophile sex grooming gangs, it's not fake, it's not made up, it's true, and it's continuous. And and yes, we have paedophiles in this country. Of course, the majority of paedophiles are white paedophiles, white English paedophiles. But the thing is that bothers me the most, I believe, is the fact that we've got so many that we can't cope with them. So we don't really need immigrants coming over to this country and forming child grooming gangs, and then having to deal with them as well through our court system. We're having enough trouble dealing with the ones that we have in this country already. So it's not really on for them to be being allowed into this country and to form the gangs they do to abuse our children. That is my point. So I'm not denying the fact there is English white paedophiles. Please don't throw that one at me, because it's ridiculous. I don't believe Tommy Robinson's racist. I don't believe he's inciting violence. I believe he's inciting the truth. That's all he's doing. And it's obvious from the government's reactions to him lately that this is the complete truth. The shocking thing last week when a soldier actually got discharged, 2 soldiers, I believe, for having a selfie at the garage with Tommy Robinson. I mean, is that criminal? Is that a criminal offence? Is it sackable? He's then gone on to do a video to say that 2 soldiers in the army have actually been done for crack cocaine, thousands and thousands of pounds worth, and still have their position. Yet this 17-year-old boy was actually discharged from his troop due to the fact he'd had a selfie and posted it on Facebook. I mean, it's a shocking thing what's going on here. And it's pretty much the same as us parents, because we're gagged, we're bound. I am, and I won't be quiet. I'll never be quiet, because these people have done wrong, very wrong. You cannot go around stealing people's children and gagging them and expecting them just to be quiet about it. I will not do that. I know the majority of parents may well do that and feel that they must because they may be in prison, but I'm not scared of prison. I'm not scared, because this is my child I'm talking about, and like hell will I be sitting back and allowing this to happen to me or anyone else without voicing exactly what's going on here. Like I was, sorry, I've done this video again, so I'm sort of trying to retrace my steps, but I was saying earlier that basically I've spoke to many middle class people and they're shocked at what social services do. In fact, they start off not believing you. By the time I've explained and gone through it all, they do believe me, and they're very interested in it, because people don't actually understand that this goes on. Forced adoption goes on nearly every single day. So it's about awareness, and this is why I also believe that the platform Tommy Robinson's got is something that we need. We're not going to get anywhere without such a platform. It's only when you've got a platform with that many supporters that the government actually listen. They may be trying to annihilate him, but actually they are really listening, because they have to. There's no choice. They have no choice but to listen to what is going on. They may go against it, they may demand it stops, but at the end of the day, if there's enough people behind it, then they cannot do that. Now, this is what we must get. Enough people behind us to make sure this government knows we are not accepting forced adoption any longer. It is not an option. It's not something that they should be allowed to do and that can go on in this country any longer. Children are being stolen from healthy homes. Children being abused are being left at home to die and be beaten and whatever and be abused. And they don't want them, of course, because why would adopters want traumatised children? They wouldn't, would they? I mean, some might, the decent actual people that actually adopt for the right reasons, but the people that have got my daughter for a start, she's a possession to them. That's it, a possession. They think they can do what they like, and the social services thought they could do what they like. But if they think I'm being quiet, like hell am I being quiet? I will build a platform, and I will continue on my cause to promote the fact that this government is a disgrace. This needs to stop. Everything needs to stop. It needs an overhaul. I'm not being stupid enough to say that of course children's services aren't essential. They of course are, and I'm not saying all of the social workers are bad. Of course some are very good. However, it seems the safeguard teams in this country have got one thing in mind, and that is adoption targets. You might not get money for these targets, but you certainly have status for these targets. Now, Essex, you're one of the highest statuses there is, beacon status. So at the end of the day, you might get promotions, or you might get, I don't know what you get, but there is adoption targets that you have to meet. And at the end of the day, that's not good enough. Okay, start dealing with the children actually are being abused, because it's becoming something that people aren't going to keep tolerating, and I intend to have thousands behind me by the time by the time the beginning of next year comes, I intend to be having a rally outside of Downing Street with more than 5, 10, 15 people, believe me. Okay, because you need to listen to what is happening. You can't just steal children. It's not okay anymore. So anyway, I'm going to go because I'm rambling up, I think, now. And yeah, so basically just contact me if you need my help. I might come across a bit scatty on this video, but I'm actually quite well educated in the area of children's law, family law, and proceedings. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.